What's up, blue chips? Technically 5 for 5 today, but one of those was break even on BLMN. Let's get to it. All right, traders, taking a quick look at the SPY here. This thing went absolutely crazy today. Made a pre-market high of 250. Right at the bell, this thing tried to get right back up to that 250 area and got a little bit rejected beforehand at 248.47, 249.22 actually here on the second candle. And look at what it did after. It said, I think the algos are going to sell off for a little bit. We ended up going all the way down here to around the 240 area. And on this first little push up, we actually took some short plays. And then on this big move down, we took a couple long plays on RCL. And then as it was coming back up, we actually took a play on NCLH. So starting with the short play on BLMN, this thing moved up. It kind of fooled us a little bit here at 850. Kind of felt like it was the top. Right after we got in, it decided to shoot up a little bit more. We got our ad in when we saw a bunch of size sitting here around that 875 area, and it also felt like we were going to get some selling pressure. As you can tell, our arrow is pointing down. You do not see any candle under that, so we were completely wrong. This thing decided to go up through 9. We were looking to get our final ad, and I had 920 in my head. I was getting ready to hit the button for our final ad up there at 920. Was expecting a little bit more of a squeeze through 9. It only went to 914, ended up coming right back down. We ended up adding half of what that 2 would have been. So we used 15, 15, and then we used 15 again instead of 30 because we were looking to get that 30 up over 9. So just in case it wanted to go up there and test 9 again, we wanted to save the other 15 because we got this last 15 at 877. So we weren't really that close to 9. Our average was never really good. We kept kind of getting crap fills on the way up on these first 2 entries as well. So when it came down here, we took half. We were looking for this move back down towards 8, that previous resistance set there in the pre-market. As you can tell, we did not quite get it. We actually got a little bit of a fake out here. We were using the top of this candle as a pivot point, which was 871. Put our order at 872. We actually got filled at 873. It pushed all the way back up to 884. And then it got rejected and finally went all the way back down, not only to 8, but through and all the way down here to 744. So we were looking to play the pivot points all the way down. So we would have gotten pretty much all of this move, and we would have been out around 783 because that would have been the first pivot point that got broke to the upside. So a little frustrating that we got stopped out and it didn't make this move before faking us out, and it happens. So then on the SPY, we had that huge move down. And we just started to see a lot of other stocks go with it, and some were extending way more than others, and RCL was one of them. As you can see, this looks almost no different than if it were going to the upside, our play. And you guys know I don't really like double tops. This is technically a double bottom, and I couldn't help myself because this thing was just so extended, and I started to see the SPY kind of level out a little bit, so I jumped in. As you can see, we didn't really bottom this. It actually got down to 35.16, and our entry on it was 35.95. We got the quick pop up. We were looking to ride this up even further, but we realized that it wasn't going there, so we ended up taking it off at 36.91. So we got 96 cents on it, almost a point. It comes all the way back down, making a new low, and we could kind of feel that it was stalling out right when it went through the new low. Jump back in, and as always, guys, you can always go watch these live. I'll timestamp them on the live stream when it's done processing, so look for that if you want to go watch these live. As you can see, it pops down. We get 35.19 fill. We were looking to add if it wanted to go through 35 right here into yesterday's close. It never did. It popped right back up, and we ended up getting our fill there at 36.05. So another decent trade, almost a point again, was at 86 cents. So then it comes back down, and it did not try to go to the lows. Even though the SPY was making new lows, RCL did not want to go back down to the lows. It was kind of starting to, ascend here. So we took another position here. We actually upped our share size a little bit here at 35.73, looking for the breakthrough 36. So we got up through 36, came back down, went up through 36 again, came back down. And then as it was coming back up to 36 again, I was like, all right, I'm not going to play this game. It doesn't feel like it wants to. It keeps getting shoved down at 36. So we ended up taking it off at 36.01. It tried to go a little bit higher right after we got out, and it went up to, 36.38. And then it got shoved all the way down here towards the lows yet again. But if you look, it started to make this ascending triangle. You can see that we actually started drawing that ascending triangle on the chart, and I said look for this 36.50 area to break, and sure enough, I wish I was looking at the chart when it was there, because look at this thing. It hasn't stopped. So the SPY is actually heading back towards the highs. So naturally, these are heading back towards the highs. That would have been a pretty awesome play there on RCL playing that ascending triangle. Our last trade was on NCLH, which was Norwegian Cruise Lines. This thing kind of popped up. This thing overreacts a lot. It's very volatile. And I noticed that the SPY, right as we were hitting this area, was actually going down towards the lows again. So I jumped in assuming we were going to get that same kind of move, and I was really just looking for 15, like right around 15. We jumped in at 1565. I was looking for that break of 1550, and if you go watch this one live, it's kind of funny because on this candle you'll see it got down to 1532. We had actually put an order in, I think, at 1545, and then we lowered it to 35, and then we lowered it to 25. And of course, it would have filled both of those other orders, but it didn't quite get down to 25. So greed kind of bit us a little bit, but I saw the SPY continuing to go down, so I just kind of kept lowering my order as long as the SPY was going down, because this has been following it for the most part. Because, I mean, if you look at this chart and then look at the SPY chart, it kind of looks the same, right? So I was expecting it to come back down. It really didn't. So as it was going up, I said, okay, we'll use the whole dollar in VWAP. If we have to, we'll turn this into a 112. It's just kind of grinding, not really the trade that we're looking for. And sure enough, we got an ad right there towards 16. And I said, okay, let's see if we can just get that 50 test. And sure enough, we did. We put our order at 57. That's where we got filled at 57. This actually got right down to 1550. And as you can see, it's never even got down to that point again. 61, 67, even right here, it only got to 62. So pretty good cover there, if you ask me. You know, a little bit of luck, a little bit of experience, just knowing that the $half will probably get used as a little bit of support. Plus, I saw the SPY at this point was also trying to get back up there. I was not going to let this go back against me through our average. This was going to be a break-even trade if we didn't get that fill. And so that's how it ended up working out there on NCLH. So technically, we went 5 for 5 today. The BLMN trade, technically, we made 15 cents on it. So it's a green trade, but really it's just a break-even trade. So technically 4 for 4 with a break-even trade. And that's all I have for you. So like and subscribe, guys, if you haven't already. I always appreciate the support. If you have any questions or comments, leave those down below, and I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Peace.